slow motion crew, and we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
When I'm up through the night, I can't turn down the noise, tear all the worries out of my mind. About who I'm supposed to be, I start to believe I can't get it right. Remember the days I let slip away, they were simpler times. Mama told me before you leave, if there's only one thing you remember from me, child, when you're out on your own, a million miles from home, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. Child, don't forget who you are, don't lose your head or your heart. I'll bet my life on your stars, you'll be dancing, dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. Dancing on the moon. Dancing on the moon. Maybe my compass was wrong, and I'm still on my way closer each day to where I belong. I'm still rolling the dice, praying sometimes it don't last that long. I'm losing my faith, I'm walking away from what you knew all along. Mama told me before you leave, if there's only one thing you remember from me, child, when you're out on your own, a million miles from home, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. Child, don't forget who you are, don't lose your head or your heart. I'll bet my life on your stars, you'll be dancing, dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. I'll bet my life, you'll be dancing on the moon. Dancing on the moon. Child, when you're out on your own, a million miles from home, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulder.
Sitting lonely in my room again, trying to find the words to say, but nothing comes out. I am looking for the better days, seem like they just stay away whenever I try. There's so many things that I keep in my mind. My friends keep me out and it hurts every time. With all the emotions I built up inside, oh why can't I? Will someone look for me if I disappear? No matter how much that I scream, nobody hears. But I see the light from far away, it's down the line. Maybe I should not give up without a fight, 'cause there will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Sitting lonely in my room again, acting like I'm innocent. Why do I try? 'Cause now I'm feeling like a fool again, thinking I can fool myself by telling me lies. when there's so many things that I keep in my mind. I hang around people I don't even like. If they can be happy and walk with a smile, oh why can't I? Will someone look for me if I disappear? No matter how much that I scream, nobody hears. But I see the light from far away, it's down the line. Maybe I should not give up without a fight, 'cause there will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Will someone look for me if I disappear? No matter how much that I scream, nobody hears. But I see the light from far away, it's down the line. Maybe I should not give up without a fight, 'cause there will be a time.
Stop the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment. Make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Stop the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment. Make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it go away?
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me. Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me
you take me home? Give me wings to fly. We can run away. Castle in the sky. Won't you take me home and give me wings to fly? We can be alone in the castle in the sky. We can run away and leave this world behind. Please just take me home to a castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Won't you take me home?
I can wait another minute. I can wait another second to be with you for an eternity. I feel like I am in a daydream. Every moment that I spend with you, with you.
Won't you take me home and give me wings to fly? We can be alone in the castle in the sky. We can run away and leave this world behind. Please just take me home to a castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Won't you take me home?
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries, let's go for now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow.
All right, and with that, we're going to ask the players to take their seats and get ready to get into game.
And while they're doing that, Becky, we're going to go ahead and get into explaining a little bit of Valorant for those of us who may not be as familiar.
All right, and as Alan said, we are the experts, so allow us to explain.
Starting off with the offensive side, you want to start by protecting the spike after planting it, and you want to make sure that the defenders don't get to defuse it. You're going to be playing agents that are able to gather information on where defenders might be. You're going to use various types of utility to enter a site, and of course, you want to split up amongst the map or across the map so that defenders need to watch multiple angles at once. Your goal is to be tricky and communicate when you see enemy players to create a potential site of attack.
And of course, since this is a game of offense, it is also a game of defense while you're trying to be the first to 13 points. So the keys of the game on the defensive side are going to be to protect all those sites that attackers are able to plant the spike on. Use the abilities of each unique agent to slow down the attackers from entering onto these different sites. Make sure that your rotations and trades with teammates are going to come smoothly while fighting those attackers. Surprise the enemies by hiding in unpredictable places so that you're not able to be taken down as easily, and play agents that are sentinels like Sage or Cypher that have utility that really maximize their potential on the defensive side. And of course, you know, it's the best of 3. So we'll see. It's a best of 3. It's a 3v3, a 3-2-3 here between Warren and Downey. So we've got a whole lot on the line. Not just the prizes, but also so much just bragging rights between these two teams. I mean, at this point, you get into this for 7 years, and that rivalry is going strong.
And, you know, due to that long history, we do want to give big thanks to the Downey Unified Esports, or the Downey Unified Board of Education. Of course, we want to thank Dr. John Garcia, the Assistant Superintendent Roger Brosmer, as well as Alan Tyner. And among those people who have helped this program develop and grow as it has, Chris Nezer and Ashley Catanoza.
And of course, the school principals, you saw some of them earlier, but from Downey we have Tim Hoots, Warren, Dr. Carrie White, and Columbus as well in Xochitl Ortiz, as well as staff like the coaches that you saw as well, George Beaver and Isaiah Chavez from Downey, and David Quintero and Eddie Paz from Warren. A big thank you to all of those people who are making such a big impact for these students.
And with that, as the players get ready, I guess we get to talk a bit more about what's going on into the game. We got a little bit of insight, Becky. But before we hop over to that, we do want to talk about these prizes because we alluded to them, but let's really get into the nitty-gritty of it.
Let's do that. And I will say, there is also a little surprise for those of you in the audience as well. So, there's lots going on today. Let's walk people through it as well. I mean, what are you most excited about? I would be most excited for some of the Steel Series gear.
Yeah, I mean, Steel Series gear is cool and all, but a customized trophy? That sounds pretty cool, but you know what? A ring does sound pretty nice. I can't lie.
It does sound pretty cool. I mean, I still cherish mine from high school, so it's really cool to have another memento and see that esports is coming in to be the same level of like cool and respectable, because we talk about this all the time, like times they are changing, and it's cool to see that these players are getting a lot of the same respect that a lot of sports players are.
Oh, 100%. And of course, none of that would be possible without the extra help from other entities like Lollipop Labs, Herf Jones, the Knowledge Society, Orange Coast College, the Contentment Foundation, and of course, Steel Series.
Of course. So a big thank you to all of the players that are helping get your players seated and here on this stage. Now, with that, I think we're about ready to get down into some Valorant. And I hope y'all are ready. There's going to be quite a few rounds, but we hope that you are cheering and using those lungs to the best of your capabilities, though we are all not Celine, I understand that. But I think that we can still start some big cheers as we get on to our map number 1. All right, Ash, walk me through it. Map number 1 is Bind. In the game of Valorant, there are lots of different maps. All of our students did a pick and ban, and they did pick Bind as the first map. So what does that tell you?
Well, to me, it seems that we're going to witness a lot of aggression. Bind is that kind of map where, as the attackers, you kind of have to commit to where you're going initially. There's not a traditional middle of the map as there are with others. But the gimmick of Bind, as every map does have its gimmick, is that there are teleporters. And you'll see them on that mini-map, traced around by these blue lines that connect them. One from A to B through those short entrances into these sites, and another from B to A, all the way on the long angles entering into these sites.
And you'll also be able to hear every time a player does go through one of those teleporters. We'll let you know when you hear it so that you can watch out for it in future rounds as well. But you mentioned aggression. There's an aggression not only from that attacking side, but also from the defensive side. A quick peek out and 2 picked up for the side of Warren.
Yep, that is Styx already making a statement. Not something you'd usually expect on a round 1, and I mean, they used that to their advantage.
Absolutely. So Warren off to a very nice start in this round, and you do see that the attacking side is slowing down quite a bit now, really waiting to make sure that they're going to be able to get onto...
Making their way into hookah with the satchel.
Very nicely done. Good utility usage and good teamwork coming from both of those players. Zozeshi tries to go and peek out into that corner and take one down, but it's not going to be something that they are capable of here. And Jazina now just playing this corner. Glumba's coming in to even it up to a 2v2 here. But Joe has just been doing so good. Low HP on both players. They're trying to play this angle, but Joe, the one to come out on top. A bad start for Downey, but they end up cleaning it up anyhow.
That is an absolute miracle recovery run out of Downey. I mean,
absolutely.
2 of your controllers dropped. You're not going to have any way to cut the lines of sight, and still so confidently pushing your way out of showers. And I love the movement out of Sun as well, knowing that 2 picks were already had, and they beeline straight for that U-Haul to find the last player on site.
Absolutely. And with that, you do see that Downey is now going to be able to buy up some better pieces of weaponry here. So they are going to have an advantage going into this round that Warren will be able to recover from once they're able to get their money in order going into future rounds after this one.
This judge is going to be a bit of a difficult point for the defenders, but before even that becomes a problem, the Spectre out of Poot, that's going to be an elimination over by the hookah ramp over at B-side. Downey now slowly inching forward with that conversion. Sun, though, close angle, swaps from the classic over once again to the judge. Satchel across, and what a shot.
A very nice shot. Once you use that satchel and you're kind of being bouncy, it's really difficult to land a headshot at that on something like that moving target. So very nicely done in that regard here as we see Jazina having to move back a little bit as we maybe have a little bit of a technical issue. And should it become a problem, we will go to a little bit of a technical pause here as we get a little bit of another shot here. Getting to see this headshot that, I was so excited to see the headshot, but the change of observer is a little bit unfortunate. Going back into the match as it is, a 2v2 once again here, and we are going to get that spike planted for the side of Downey, and now it is left up to the defenders to try and come back into this, see if we can get any more of those sheriff shots to connect, but it doesn't look like the defense is going to be able to, and now it's just going to be a slow push onto the site.
Zap is in a bit of a precarious situation. One to the body, they'll get eliminated, but no.
A nice one. Glumbus should know that Zap is low, but when you see those crosshairs on that feed, you know that it was a nice shot to come out from Zap to take out those final two players.
That aim is electrifying, dare I say.
It certainly is. All right, we do have a little bit of a technical issue, so we are going to be going to a little bit of a pause here. Let's see if we can kind of break down how those first two rounds went for the lovely people in the audience here.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Downey coming back with the victory, but I love the tempo that was set by Warren, right? Moving their way up. They know that they can catch the attackers off guard by showing some aggression of their own. And I love teams that are proactive in that way. And so they did have some success, but of course, Downey picks up that first round. Going into round number 2, well, I mean, of course, you expect a team with the weapon advantage to pick things up a little bit more easily.
Absolutely.
That being said, it got pretty dicey.
It really did. I mean, so once you get into that second round, the team that takes the first one is usually going to walk out of that second round with no players lost or very few. So the fact that Downey went down to 2 players does mean that their economy is going to be a little bit more shaky going into round number 3 compared to the side of Warren. So from a strictly numbers perspective, the next round should be very much in favor of Warren to be able to start to maybe get their footing again and try to equalize the match.
Yeah, it's known as that the bonus round. And you convert those weapons you already had from the second round against a team who, because they lost the first 2 rounds, will be able to get the best tools possible for that round, right? And so keeping as much as what you had prior to round number 3 is key. That's why we talk about trying to keep everyone alive. And so not having that, well, it does pose quite an issue. But we have seen the impossible become possible.
Absolutely. So let's also talk a little bit about some of the agents that were picked. We mentioned that every single agent is unique. And while you can have the same agent on each individual team, you can't have the same agent on your own team. So everyone is playing, for the most part, a completely different agent. And on top of that, I really like the pick of Gecko for the side of Downey. I think that Gecko is just so strong, and if you're playing against a team that isn't like fully coordinated, the ability of Wingman, the little yellow guy that comes out and plants the spike, can just be so dismantling to a team that isn't completely down on their synergy.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just so nice to be able to have kind of this automatic sentry do that job for you, and then you can have another player active in the fight.
And that's something that we've been able to see Joe do. I mean, you can see the score 4-0-1. That just goes to show how much impact Joe is able to create while Wingman is doing some of the more dicey things. I mean, you're seeing it again here as Joe picks up the first shot in the match.
Yeah, Wingman's getting a lot of credit here, but Dizzy around the corner, huge pickup there. First elimination against the defense here. Warren down a player. Plant goes down once again through the smoke also. That's going to be a difficult issue for Warren to solve.
Ooh, GG's only toes barely out of that toxic sludge, and Zozashi making the most of that stinger, goes into the Bucky, gets the blind across, but unfortunately the weaponry on core is just a little bit stronger here, and it's left just up to Glumbus, who's able to take out Zap, but is forced to take those 180 swings back and forth, and it's just a little bit too difficult.
It's so close every single round. Warren kind of inching their way forward and fighting back, but it feels like there's a little bit of an edge that Downey has right now. Maybe it's the tempo, the momentum, the comp. They are playing something a little bit out of the older meta with the double controller, but it's helping them break up these lines of sight so well.
Yeah, I do think that there is like an air of traditional sense that Downey's comp has compared to Warren's. I think Warren's comp is a little more not what you would see pro players playing, for example. It does feel like they've picked a lot of comfort picks, which there is a lot of strength in doing. And like if you're comfortable taking a Marshall to your opponents, you can be like, boom, get that first shot. Avoid those grenades, though, to the best of your ability. Get healed up by your teammate. Keep getting out there. Keep trying to be aggressive. This is what we mean when the defense has to be the ones trying to stop the attackers from going on to site, because that is where Warren is struggling.
Absolutely. Yeah, we talk a lot in the Valorant scene about the neutral space, which is the space between both of the team's barriers, right? And so your goal as the defenders is not only to just hold your sight, but get information on what's going on in those neutral spaces. Ooh. In this case, though, you're watching Warren find the eliminations as well.
All right, this is what we were seeing in that first round, too. That neutral space and those headshots really doing a lot for the side of Warren. But once you see Downey really start to move forward in this space, that's where they start to thrive. And it's just a fight back and forth between these two teams for control of who is aggressing.
Wow, wow, wow. Joe trying to get that shot out onto Columbus. But even just to be safe, thrown out the Annihilation, that deadlocked ultimate to secure the round. Was not needed, but hey, better safe than sorry, because now Warren is on the board.
I was going to say, I don't hate the Annihilation, the ultimate from Deadlock being used there, because in a lot of ways, you knew that you were down as far as weaponry was concerned. So being able to say, you know what, this one's going to make sure that it happens if my teammate isn't able to hit the shot, like just in case, I think it's worth that safety net.
Yeah, and the sooner you drop an ultimate, the sooner you can get it back up again, right?
Yeah. That's like one of my biggest gripes is when I see people hoarding their ultimates, and it's like, just get out there, just start using it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not the best practice. Sometimes we see it, but this time, both of these teams are some of the best we've seen in high school Valorant. So.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a reason they're at this point after 60 players in 6 weeks playing here in this theater. And a lot is being put out towards this garden area. And you'll see those rotations from the defensive side slowly moving back over. But we mentioned those teleporters. There's that sound. When you hear that big ka-chunk, that means that people are on the move.
Oh, big paranoia here to stop the push, but a shrouded step as well to get away, not trying to play off of it. And hey, could not blame you because the Raze showstopper, the ultimate, the rocket launcher was out and in play.
Beautiful from Jazina. Son, that moment of hesitation really not doing nice things. And now we are in a 2v2. That spike is planted. So the pressure is on the side of Warren to try and get this defuse through. But this orbital strike is going to make it that much more difficult. The damage is going to come through. Boom gets taken down. It's all up to Jazina now. But the utility is just coming through so strong. Shrouded step number 2 to try and be in an unpredictable place. Pops out of the smoke. But the flick from Poot signs the warrant for Jazina, and Downey continue to take the lead.
I was on the edge of my seat there for that one.
That was a great round.
Spike was, what, a second and a half from being diffused before the orbital strike, but it was, it was Poom there, or excuse me, it was Poot there who got the shots through the Radianite crate to get the diffuser off the Spike, and that, I think, was that momentous scene that kept the round in favor of Downey.
Very, very nicely done. And it's so hard because I feel like Warren is doing a really good job of initially kind of staving off the attack if they're able to get like 1 or 2 of those first picks. But I also really have to give it to Downey. If they get a few of their players taken down, they don't hold up. They don't continue to hesitate. They don't continue to worry. They're like, okay, as quick as we can, where are we attacking next? And that's commendable.
You know, I was really worried about that line of sight for the 2 out of Force, that chamber ultimate, because there were so many smokes in the way, right? But that patience.
The moment that it went down, it was like signed, sealed, delivered.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Sun now. This is the rotation that we're more used to seeing from attackers. We've kind of seen the good kittens have some of their players taken out early, and then they'll continue to hit the same site and not make those big rotations. This time around, though, not using the teleporters, but we are making the rotation. Unfortunately, though, Deadlock makes it so difficult to jump out of that window.
Absolutely. If there is a reason to pick Deadlock on this map, it would be for the sonic sensors. And you saw exactly why just a moment ago. Now 30 seconds left on the clock, and that one trap really takes the pep out of your step.
Oh, it certainly does. I mean, the moment you get hit by it, like mentally, you're like, I can't believe I just got by this. Poot, though, able to slow walk right by one. They are only detonated by a sound, but we do see that timer at the very top. 10 seconds left to get that spike planted, and they're narrowly able to make it happen. And the Viper's Pit has been laid. It's so scary to walk into this ultimate. You have so little room for error because it decays you, but Zozashi able to shut that down before Zap goes too crazy. One of two players remaining trying to play and hold the chambers back, but it's just not coming together with this shin that Downey has in place.
Tour de Force, a powerful weapon, but not the one you want in a retake, not the one you want in a 2 versus 1 scenario. Is able to find the shot, though, on Joe. Oh. And what is this movement? Is it a disconnect? It's a lag.
Okay. In all honesty, though, the moment you're going for that elimination, the spike was ticking so quickly already. You were hoping for just an elimination. It is still a little sad that that wasn't able to come through, but the round was going to be Downey's anyway.
Well, we're going to have to see what's going on. If that was the observer perspective or if that was the gameplay perspective. So we're going to get a report on that soon. But for now, it looks like we may just play through.
And that being said, we just saw GG's Only get a lot of picks with the Tour de Force, which is kind of a built-in piece of Chambers' kit. But now making the rotation onto this operator that's a very similar weapon, and unfortunately misses that pivotal first shot. But Sun does not miss a pivotal rebuttal.
No, not at all. And there goes the pickup as well on the extra orb over in Shower.
Ooh. A lot of damage onto Poot.
Yeah, 10 HP left. That puts you in a really vulnerable spot, and you don't want to lose that Cypher as well, right? Because they're in charge of the flank hold to make sure none of the defenders can get behind you on the take. But maybe that's not quite their worry, as it's a full execute out onto the site. Glumbus all alone, but still holding down the fort until Zozeshi comes along to save the day. Now a 2 versus 2, and again, that Cypher still at 10 HP, Becky.
10 HP, but it's 10 HP in a dream, and 10 HP is more than 0, so still sticking around, still able to help out and give information over to full health Sun, who takes out Poom, and now it's just left up to Jazina, waiting to see if Poom goes for that rotation, but unfortunately Sun playing the angle really well, better weapon, picks up 3 and picks up a 6th round for Downey.
Look, I'll tell you what, Becky, a lot of people really think Valorant is a game about aim, flicking, tracking, whatever, but you need the movement as well. And that is exactly what Sun demonstrated with that elimination.
Absolutely. And we are going to be going into a little bit of a time out here to allow for the side of Warren to talk over some strategies, especially now that we have the ultimate from Deadlock on the table too. And I think it's so cool even to mention, like, all of these rounds, while the score is 6-1, it's a lot more close of a match than the score kind of lends itself to. We're seeing a lot of eliminations happening. It keeps coming down to 2v2. So it truly, while the score doesn't look it, is very close and could still be anyone's game. And we're seeing some great plays. Even when we saw that execution from Downey in the last round, 4 out of 5 of the players got stunned up by Deadlock utility. Had there been one more person there and Zozeshi didn't need to kind of move on that rotation and get there on a kind of late aspect, that could have been completely devastating for the side of Downey and been a round that Warren took. And so maybe this is a great time to be taking this time out to talk about, okay, where are we positioning our players? If I'm going to be able to stun up for them, is there a way that we can maybe have one more player over on this other site? and maybe really capitalize on the utility that's being placed.
Absolutely, I agree with you, and I think that not only is there potential for the utility, but also the weaponry, right? Something that we saw earlier on the chamber was a tour de force.
Yeah.
But there is potential for maybe even another operator on board, right? That's something that we've seen where a lot of players will, after the chamber cycles out their ultimate, a Jet can pick up an operator as well.
Ooh, speaking of Jet, though, falls to Zap. Quickly in the round, going to skirt around this corner, but not prepared in that crouching motion for Zap to come in to sting once more. Boot's going to be able to find one on this rotation. Unfortunately, the jig is up, but Jazina and Boot's going to be able to, play that flank watch that you mentioned.
The Sky Smokes are already down alongside the Spike with Wingman. 5 versus 2, and this is the kind of round where you're just trying to salvage what you can and do as much damage as possible. There it is, Zozeshi finding that shot on score, and another through Sun. All of a sudden, this impossible round became winnable. Again, the Annihilation still up on Glumbus.
Yeah, unfortunately, the 18 HP is a little rough. Trying to wait for one to peek around the corner. Finds that one. Joe has been spotted out. Zozeshi's going to see if one more can be found. But unfortunately, the elbow is not enough. And the aggression was good. It was the right call, but it just didn't line up quite right.
And this is what we're talking about, where the rounds are so close despite the score at the top. And you just gotta wait till Warren just cleans up a couple things here and there, and I have no doubt that they're gonna make this comeback. It is crazy close.
And we do see ultimates on the board again. We mentioned the Annihilation was up for the deadlock. We do see a little bit of cabbage action could be coming out from the sky, and that's going to be a way that you can tell which players from the enemy team are going to which site. Give over a lot of information, and that little bit of information could be the tide that turns this ocean for the side of Warren.
Trying to navigate this wall of Sun, exposing themselves a little bit. Wall not placed entirely so they can see on the right side, and that'll be a punishment for them.
But at least it was a trade.
That's true, 4-4. And as we say, a 1-to-1 trade is always in favor of the attackers. So right now, the good kittens are feeling okay, just maneuvering the map and seeing what's going on, poking and prodding for a little bit more information until making the commitment.
Yeah, this is a lot of staying power from the side of Warren, too. I feel like we don't normally see this level of, like, if a site has motion on it, you normally see people really trying to make those rotations faster or have somebody a little bit closer, but we are having a lot of staying from the defensive side, and we'll see. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad.
I do want to point out, and I think it's super interesting, that we have the Deadlock utility over at B with Deadlock having fully rotated. And it's just anchored down by a chamber with an operator, which is, I mean, insane when you know that they've got the aim to back it up. But Joe's going to open things up and immediately get annihilated. Broken out, though. Zap makes the play to get rid of Glumbus. Spike is going to go down. And all of a sudden, it's a 2v3 retake, Becky.
I feel like Gecko just said thanks, Wings, but we should be saying thanks, Joe. You're the reason that I made it out of that alive.
That's absolutely true. Getting rid of the Deadlock who casted the Annihilation, as well as breaking through the cocoon.
GG's Only's never going to win that. You can't turn around a corner into two. It's just not going to happen. And Downey continuing to go towards victory here.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of situation, I don't think even Tens could get out of.
I don't think so either.
It's just not possible.
And now we do see still an ultimate ready for the side of both teams. But I would say that Suns is one that I would consider a little bit more impactful overall.
Absolutely. I think the showstopper creates a lot of pressure and a lot of space, which is exactly what you want your duelist to be doing, right? And so having that in your back pocket to secure an elimination is perfectly fine, but this time around it doesn't connect. Regardless, though, they get something with the Vandal. Poom is going to fall over at A short. The paint shells is thrown out to make a little bit more space. But again, with all these smokes up, right, the attacking side of Downey, they have no idea whether or not that A short pocket is controlled by the defenders.
Yeah, a little bit of a difficult start to that round. I feel like Warren really does want to get some of those early picks that they are having a lot of success with in previous rounds, but it's just narrowly not going their way. As a lot of back and forth is happening over towards B long, and crazy things are happening in the teleporter right now. But it is resulting in Downey coming out on top. And the defensive side, not on the side that they normally should be.
Yeah, the map has flipped, as we love to say. Zoe Zeshi here trying to make their way forward through the sky smoke, but it's so hard seeing those. Joe making the way. It's a pincer by Downey. And Warren tries to break through, but unfortunately for them, isn't going to quite succeed. 1-9 now, again in favor of Downey. And still, every round is so close.
I mean, we're starting in these last two rounds to not feel as close as it has in the past, and still it feels like it is just a flurry of utility and a few things being different from it starting to go Warren's way. Now, we are having a little bit of a tech pause once again, trying to make sure that everything is as clear as possible for your viewing enjoyment, as well as for the integrity of our players.
Yeah, so I guess what we can do now is review a little bit of the rule set as well, because we did talk about these this technical pause, but also the tactical timeouts, and I think those are really important. We saw one called, I think it was round 7, and each team gets 2 of those per map, and you can use those on the first half, you can use 1 on each half, you can use them both in the second half, or you cannot use them at all. Right? Of course, you want to have these to take a break, maybe to reset mentally, or as we saw, address and shift your strategy. For both of these teams, though, it's important to note that if a game goes to overtime, those timeouts don't roll over, so they're more inclined to use them earlier rather than later or not at all.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I feel like when you see teams that are ahead, they don't usually take those timeouts. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But sometimes I still like being able to see teams, especially when, again, the rounds are as close as they are, getting to see them take those timeouts and be like, okay, we have the advantage, but how could we make sure that it's even more solidified? How do we not lose those players in the kind of early parts of the round?
Absolutely. Now, let me get that little boring stuff with the rule set out of the way. Why don't we go ahead and review a little bit of what we have going on from the rounds that we've seen. We are finishing up round number 10. We're moving to round number 11, but we can see some of these highlights from earlier on. These amazing shots, especially out of Zap here. This was such a crazy moment to clutch up the round.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like they've been a cornerstone of Downey, even though they're relegated to like that secondary controller Viper role, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think that there is a lot to be said for especially controller players, the players who are blocking off those lines of sight. To play that role, you just really have to have a good understanding of where your opponents are going to be coming from and where the best place for you to put a smoke to stop them from seeing you and your team is.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy amounts of spatial awareness that you have to have, right? Information, and also the ability to go aggressively as well, which is what I love seeing out of all of our controller players today, actually, so far. Have been very precise with their timings. I don't think I've seen anyone scared to push through a smoke or make a play or bait out something.
And that being said, I do quite like Downey's team composition. I think that it is something that I would like to see my team playing if I was in the game. I like the double controller composition. I like the amount of stability that it gives you. And I mean, they're called controllers for a reason. They give you control over a game and lines of sight. And I think that it's a cool use of the amount of like corners that you can hide in on a map like Bind and being able to block those off so that you're able to push onto sight or make sure that you're pushing and only have to worry about a certain line of sight the whole time.
Yeah, I think especially with these agents selected in particular, it aids in the map's gimmick. We talked earlier about neutral space, and we talked about these teleporters. And something very special with a lot of these agents is that their utility can actually be sent through the teleporters to affect the map in certain ways. And so that's kind of why Viper has been such a staple of this map, I think is really important. So to have that flexibility as well as something that blends in with the map itself is a huge boon to your opportunity in attacking, which is exactly what we're seeing. That's where Downey is succeeding. What I'm curious to see is what's going to happen after the side swap, because we're slowly approaching that point, right? There is some flexibility in the comp, like I said, and so we're going to see that Viper wall get used through the teleporter more than likely. But for Warren, when they move to the attack, they have 2 Sentinels. And so that's what I'm curious about, because there's a lot of potential for deadlock in the post-plant where...
Back into talking about some of the keys of the game, kind of give you a little bit of a refresher while we're still situating our players.
Yeah, so when it comes to the offense, really huge part is getting that spike down. And we talked about how duelists make space earlier, right? And so both of these teams are armed with a duelist, Raze for Downey and Jet for Warren. And it's really important to gather information as well. Now, there are scamming agents like Sova and Fade, which actually reveal, they're often referred to as the wall hack characters, but we actually have information in the form of flashes on both teams, Gecko and Sky respectively. And so I think those are extremely huge for the fast-paced execution that we've been seeing, Becky. But I feel like some concrete information and maybe some of the upcoming maps might be what one of these teams will want to prioritize.
Absolutely. And we can go into some of those defensive aspects as well and kind of break down where Warren is kind of thriving and maybe kind of struggling. They are doing a really good job of trying to play into, Ashkan has been saying, neutral space, and absolutely they've been pushing into that neutral space and trying to make sure that the attackers can't kind of fight back as they're pushing onto the site. Unfortunately, though, there is this kind of like middle ground. They have those first little scuffles, and then Warren will kind of falter in some of those kind of closer range fights. Trading teammates, I think, is a really big thing for both of these teams right now. Usually on the defensive side, you're trying to make sure that you're able to get those first shots and then immediately get out of dodge. Make sure that you're safe. Make sure that you're able to play a numbers game against the attackers. And that's something that is trying to be a little bit of a struggle. And it does say agents like Cypher, and we're getting to see that from the attacking side. We'll see that on the defensive side, but right now the defensive Sentinels are Chamber and Deadlock, and we got to see a lot of great stunts coming out from the Deadlock on the side of Warren that has done a ton to slow the opponents down. But unfortunately, if you stun up multiple people, it's really hard to shoot multiple people at the same time, so it hasn't gone as nicely as it could for the side of Warren. And I think there are just little things that need tweaked to make this really sing for them.
Absolutely, and they have more than enough opportunity to do that, because as not just Bind, we will have a second map no matter what in this best of 3 series. So they have more than enough to adapt and overcome whatever it is that they feel they need to adjust for. We're eventually going to make our way towards the game, but you mentioned something that I want to talk about. It's getting out and playing numbers on the defensive side, right? And I think Chamber is a huge proponent of that, right? Hailing from France, his ability Rendezvous is going to be what gives him the opportunity to quite literally teleport away after any and every fight. Oh.
You can be Becky Bear today.
I can be Becky Bear. I think that's a compliment. I want cool orange hair.
I mean, it is pretty cool. Yeah, you mentioned Rendezvous. You do literally see Chamber snap his fingers and he's out of there. And that's usually a play pattern that you're going to see from a character like that, as well as a character like Jet. And you're seeing both of those on the side of Warren, where they're trying to kind of set up their line of sight where they know attackers are going to be coming into their line of sight, taking that shot and immediately getting out of there. And that's one of the strongest things you can be doing on the defensive side.
Absolutely. I think with the Operator, though, we haven't seen, unfortunately, a lot of its potential, and I think it's really come up only on those Chamber Ultimate rounds. Maybe in these last 2, Warren will be able to just sneak away something with those first picks, because we've been saying they're so great at getting these first scuffles out of the way in their favor, and when everything resets, they're always on top. It's just some small detail. I think for me, we've been talking a lot on this controller comp, this Brimstone Viper that Downey has concocted. And I think for me, it's the combination of that wall and the sky smokes that is very effectively separating the sites. And we've noticed Downey has this habit of hitting A over and over and over again. And it's because you can quite literally cut the site into quarters between these 2 characters.
Yeah, absolutely. And control. That kind of seems to be the name. I mean, we keep using Scuffle too. And I think that once you're able to, you mentioned, cut it up into quarters, then you only have to worry about a fourth of the site. And once you go into those close range scuffles where Downey is doing the best, that's how it's really going to see this score to 9-1. And our players are back and ready to go. So we're continuing into this match, and we are 2 rounds away from a side swap. Let's see if the side of Warren can get a few more rounds back, starting off with those cabbages, trying to locate where the side of the attacking squad is. And so far, so good. That weaponry, not as strong as it could be, but still doing good things for Warren to start things off. And Columbus is just going to say, no more from this angle, please.
Oh, I love the barrier mesh out of Columbus.
Exactly
Cuts off that point of contact completely. But we have the neural theft out of Cypher, and what that's going to do is ping the entire enemy team twice. So Downey has a very strong idea of what's going on, and that's why they immediately beeline towards the B site. But Jazina has already made their way over, has a dark cover as well, and the paranoia in their back pocket to stop any pushes if necessary. And they don't commit to that fight. Instead, they let Columbus handle it. Again, that paranoia used to stall anyone out of hookah. And this off angle is great, but Core is better. 3 for the round and Zap for a 4th. It's 2-1, and all of a sudden, a lone Chamber is left alone. The operator against Core, but Zap shocks the crowd with amazing gunplay and even better footwork.
Oh, I was so worried for a half a second there, and you got to tell me if you thought the same thing. I thought that they were going to line up and the operator shot was going to get both of them because the amount of penetration on that weapon is no joke.
Yeah, there are a lot of collaterals that happen in Valorant. There are other tactical FPS games where there's team damage, so players are more likely to spread far apart. In Valorant, you can't hurt your teammates, so oftentimes you'll see people stacking up in a line, and oftentimes it doesn't quite work out. Luckily for Downey, it did.
It certainly did, and they are at 10-1. There's 1 round left, and Downey's going to use it to go ahead, take their little pause here. The pause does also allow for the coaches to talk to the rest of the team. Normally, during the match, they are not allowed to otherwise, and so another little moment.
Or optimal play, right? You don't want it to influence you negatively and impact you and you start to make mistakes. It is a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely. You don't want to end up being too hasty and then all of a sudden not be able to correct some of those mistakes. You get a lot of room to do that on the defensive side, but on the attacking side, sometimes it's if you keep going for those peaks and you keep losing, bad things start to happen for you and the rest of your team.
Absolutely. Even the greatest sweeps are won round by round. So in pro play, we often see coaches, they take their pauses, even when you think they normally wouldn't, even when you think, oh, this team is ahead. But it's all strategic, and there's as much of a mental aspect as there is technical.
Oh, no!
Oh!
Bring the game back. It's okay. Our technical support is wonderful.
Is that Windows 10?
Is that Windows 10? I mean, okay, we came back. We saw the big portions. Thank goodness that we were able to. The knives are out for the Jet. There is a running all around, and boom, with 4 picks. Carries at least 2 points for Warren into the second half.
There we go.
All right, so when we're giving our little spiel, telling you all how to play Valorant, there's a part on defensive side where it says hide in corners, where people aren't going to check. And I'm like, I'm always weird about that wording because I like to think that people check the corners. But hey, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you get to just do your complete turn as somebody walks by you and get rewarded. And that's exactly how Poom started off that round.
Absolutely. Yeah, we definitely got to clip that first 2K, 100%. Unfortunately, some of Downey's players off-screen like Gojo, but we'll see how that happens later.
All right, now you do see this side swap. The attackers are now the defenders are now the attackers. And we are going to see Warren start things off with some flashes at the ready, trying to see if that is going to be the decision for their team. Camera getting a little fuzzy, though. We'll see if all of our players are still connected here. And see if the information is going to come through. Start off with this dog. The dog is going to be able to take care of that tripwire. And now it's the name of the game in teamwork. But unfortunately, sometimes you live together, you fall together.
Cypher is a very dangerous agent to swing because of those trapwires. But in this case, it came down to pure mechanics.
Ooh, and the shots through the smoke. If you hear the footsteps, you know they're there. Columbus falls. We'll see if Jazina's patience is going to be able to equate to any more than that one pick onto Sun. That teleporter sound ringing out true, but the defensive side still strongly in place on this A site.
And so much map control as well. There's a Cypher walking up from the defense by Downey. All angles held. And Zap and Core close out this round number 13, inching their way forward to a map number 1 win.
Yeah, as we mentioned, it is a first to 13, which means the Good Kittens are a good 2 rounds away from taking home map number 1 and being 1 map away from being the 4-3 Downey Unified Esports champions. But, I mean, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. This round, once again, is likely to be in favor of Downey, but the third round, as we mentioned, usually ends up going to the opposing team, so there's still a little bit of room for Warren to start to take control of this match.
Absolutely, and they did choose to save. They're investing in that third round. And so this is par for the course. Joe finds 2 over in showers. No utility spent. Backing away as well. Comes the Sky Smoke. Stalling out after finding the 2 eliminations. These are the Good Kittens. They want to buy themselves time. Again, the clock is in favor of the defenders until the spike is actually planted. So if this minute runs down, it's another round on the board for Downey.
And this being said, I do want to kind of commend Downey for getting those first few picks and then backing off. Like being able to, again, keep your mental good, not get too hasty, not get too aggressive is going to be one of the ways that you take home a round. And we will be going to match point after a flawless round from Downey.
We are approaching that point, but there is still a possibility for overtime, right? So when the team hits 12-12, or when the teams hit 12-12, that's when we go into this back and forth of it until a team wins by 2, and they actually swap sides every round. It's going to be a long upwards climb, but Warren has shown time and time again that they are willing to put up a fight.
Start off over towards the left side of the map here for the attackers. And they know that this is where that Cypher plays, and Columbus wants blood after the round before, but maybe we don't want blood as much as Sun does, who has Judge in hand.
At the grand finals for the high school championship.
Nothing better.
Nothing
you clip that,
better.
you put it on Twitter.
And you saw that right there, the movement of Gecko to get away. They are trying to hand this ace on a silver platter to Sun right now.
And Sun is on the way. Joe, classic out. GG's only does fall, but the ace does come through the 13th round, and Downey takes down map number 1 of Bind.
That mental aspect in this series is so huge. You're sitting on a stage in front of a crowd. You were winning out map number 1, and not just in any old fashion, but with the ace on top of it. You're feeling good. You're feeling great. But now you're taking a break until map number 2. So for those of you on stream, we're going to see you in a bit. But for those of you over here, we're ready to welcome our cheerleaders. Starting, of course, with Downey.
Cause I don't want nobody to change me now. Cause I like to be myself. If you're not agree, you can walk away. You can walk away. You can walk away. Something in my mind leads me then I ain't nobody perfect. Something in my mind leads me then I ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. Something in my mind makes me think that ain't nobody perfect. Something in my mind makes me think that ain't nobody perfect. 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 Ain't nobody perfect.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on a full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Play me like a bass guitar, simmer down and mash me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. And drive me around in your red Ford, shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
On my mind, so say it with hope and you were sure I couldn't agree that we were meant to be, but our love is what they talk about in movies. Our love is what they talk about. Yeah, we were wild and free, and you know everything about me. So wild and free, and you know everything about me. You know everything about me. You know everything about me. You know everything about me.
Welcome back.
It's me.
It's us. And as Alan mentioned, we are still working on some of those technical pauses, so it might be a sec before we get back into the matches. But let's take a look at those highlights from round number 1 once more.
Oh, that
first
never
shot,
gets old.
yeah.
It never gets old.
I mean, if you play Valorant, you start to get so annoyed by Raze that the moment that you like hit your shot that time, you're just like sweet, sweet symphonies singing in my head, only for it all to come back around with the ace that Sun gets at the very end.
I did like that Marshall shot from Boom. It was looking like Kami for a little bit there. And this right here by Jazina over in U-Haul.
Just like, that's one of those like Valorant timing moments.
Yeah, like Sun was trying to see what more they could get by turning away, and then Jazina finds them. It was so unfortunate.
I mean, they say that most of this game just comes down to timing. The moment you look away is always the moment somebody else comes into your field of vision.
Oh yeah, 100%. I feel that a ton, and I know the refs do as well. We're all avid Valorant players. Oh! Yeah, we were talking about the operator being used on Chamber a lot, and it definitely made some impactful eliminations, for sure.
And I mean, that's something that, like, the operator is a big part of Chamber because a lot of his kit is built around already using his ultimate that is a very similar gun. And you gotta check those corners. You gotta not have your knife out. I mean, when you get them, you get them.
Yeah, the timing there is so tight as well to find your way into that corner that if you don't have someone wide swinging off the barrier drop, you know, it is what it is.
And then the final one that ended it all. The celebration from the players. And I want to see more of it.
Absolutely.
I want to see who takes home those trophies.
Oh,
the big one and the lollipops.
I believe they get their names engraved on these as well. So,
Oh, yeah.
It's,
Including engraving on the ring, I believe, as well. The ring. They all get rings. There's not one ring. It's not Lord of the Rings.
the One Ring.
The one ring to rule them
Who's
all.
that guy? Sauce?
Sauron.
So Cerebral? Yeah, Sauron.
Drop it now. Drop it now.
Why? They did collaboration with Magic the Gathering.
They sure did. They sure did. All right, moving back to the game of Valorant, though. Going into the next map that is going to be Haven, what are some agents that you think you're likely to see on a map like this? Do you think that we're going to see more comfort picks from Warren? Do you think we're going to see some things that are a little more traditional? And where do you think the strengths that we saw from Warren will play into Haven?
So to start off with what I think is likely, I mean, the traditional comp has always been Jet, Sova, Breach, Omen, and then Killjoy or Cypher. Cypher has been nerfed recently with his trap wires. Hard to say, but I'm expecting one of each at least.
And we did see a deadlock on the last map. So
That's
deadlock
true.
I do think is much worse on Haven, but if that was like something that was more along the lines of a comfort pick, I think it would be cool to see something like that as well. Sage also really can have a place, being able to just place a wall. I mean, I guess deadlock does that too. Just a lot of wall action that could be happening, and I would be interested to see, but as you mentioned, is a little bit less traditional. Yeah, welcome to the Becky and Ashkan podcast now. We hope you're enjoying. And for those of you who are just hanging out in the audience, thanks for chilling with us. Thanks for bearing with us while we're trying to figure this all out and continue to make sure that the tournament integrity is still in place for the players.
Yeah, and so I guess we can keep chatting about the Haven a little bit more while we're here.
Why not? Let's do it.
Something I'm looking at is the Neon. Right, so something that's been kind of the bane of most players' existence recently.
I mean, there's a reason I
Neon.
went, oh.
yeah, exactly, right? Because Neon has been able to replace Jet in a lot of ways that the developers have now identified as not optimal, right? And so she has been nerfed with one slide taken away. She used to have two. But because of that, well, I'm not necessarily sure that she will be taken out of the pool completely. I'm still fully expecting her to be played. And when you saw both of these teams, I mentioned both of these teams have had players hitting crazy shots where I was talking about their movement.
Yeah.
Neon is the movement agent.
Absolutely.
Think Octane from Apex Legends, for example.
Absolutely. And I think like there is something to be said for, we were talking with the players before even coming onto the stage. And I think I heard the word neon tossed around a few times, and I don't think they're talking about signs. So or the cool museum that's in Glendale.
There's a cool museum in
There's
Glendale?
a neon museum in Glendale. It's quite lovely.
Is
if
it
you have a
with
chance.
neon signs or neon
Yeah,
the
neon
agent?
signs.
Oh, so it's not neon the agent. Okay,
not
cool.
Valorant. One day we might get a Valorant museum, but I think this game has got to live for a lot longer before that happens.
That's fair.
Let's talk about the players for a sec. We, as I mentioned, got to talk to them a lot before coming onto this stage. So let's kind of put into perspective some of the cool things about the players. A lot of them are extremely high rank in this game. Like, I'm talking top 1% of players. And I would say that more than half of the players that you're seeing on the stage are within that top 2 to 1% of players in the game of Valorant.
Absolutely. I mean, when we were going around asking them, most of our players were Ascendant and Immortal.
Yeah.
Which is extremely high ranking to the point where Immortal is actually numbered on the leaderboard there.
Yeah.
So you get your specific identity as an Immortal ranked player, and it opens up a lot of opportunities. You know, we talk about how this program builds towards the futures of these kids. And esports isn't just available here at the high school level.
Yeah.
A lot of colleges have these esports programs. So some of our players have actually indicated interest towards going to a Valorant school where they can both pursue their education and a potential professional career at the same time, which is so sick.
It's so cool because, like, when I was looking at college, that was not really a thing. Like, I just played in tournaments outside of college. It wasn't something that I was, like, doing while I was there. And I know that, like, my husband went to a school where esports was really big, and I was like, that's so cool that that's even, like, a thing. And now it's starting to become such a big thing at even a high school level. And to see the level that these kids are at is just astounding because you also wouldn't see that as often.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as someone who recently graduated from Cal State Northridge, I had the opportunity to play on a student club, but it is so awesome to see these programs, for example, at UC Irvine here in California, where you are actually scholarships to play on those teams.
That's so cool.
That is crazy to me. And on the East Coast, you have universities like Rochester and Winthrop who are full riding their students.
And I mean, that would just be so cool to see some of the people that were commentating play here in this theater go on to play basically like the college football level of Valorant.
Absolutely. But of course, it's not just about Valorant in college. There's a lot that we've had to talk about with some of our kids, and we just want to shout them out for, wanting to pursue more, not just on the how do you say, the digital battleground, but
like that,
our real life pursuits. Aaron Rodriguez shared with us that not only are they a competitor in Valorant, but also in soccer. And they want to actually join the Premier League when they finish up high school. And I think that's a pretty awesome goal. I can't lie.
No, it was really cool. And it was funny. We play enough video games in Valorant. There's a Premier League in Valorant. So when he said, I want to play in the Premier League, we were like, oh, Valorant. And he was like, no, soccer. And we were like, our bad.
Yeah, we don't touch grass as the casters, I suppose. Yeah, we got the wrong thing going. Following up, I mean... Oh...
All right, yeah, we can talk about pricing. Let's see what the players are playing for again. I mean, again, I'm just looking at the lollipops.
There's a certain theme park, I'm not sure I can mention, but they have really big lollipops like that.
Yeah.
I love, like, sweets. I have a big sweet tooth.
Ooh.
So...
Me too, but like in a bread pudding kind of way.
Bread time. Is bread pudding sweet?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Usually a lot of caramel.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess you're right. The bread pudding itself is okay, and then the sauce has all the sugar.
Yeah.
That's pretty fair.
But I mean, those trophies look pretty sweet too.
Oh yeah. I mean, maybe they let us compete. What do you think?
I don't think so.
No, you don't think
I
so?
also don't think I could compete with these people.
That's fair. That's valid. There are some pretty
much everyone on the stage is probably way better than me. Like, I saw a few of those flicks. I saw a few of those shots. Could not be me. So, I mean, I'm glad I'm here and not there.
I mean, it's so hardcore. They even have muscle tape for their tendons and joints to prevent, like, wrist injury.
You got to be watching that from a young age.
And it's legit. I mean, you really want to make sure that you don't have any of that while playing.
Absolutely.
That's crazy to me. If I got a wrist, if my parents saw me get, like, a wrist injury from, like, hitting a nasty flick, they'd be like, what's wrong with you, nerd? Yeah, like, this is so awesome, all the support and how serious these teams take, like, this endeavor.
It is really great to see. And I mean, like, I think support is a part of the name of the game. I mean, we're sitting here and we're thanking all these people, and you'd think it's because it needs to just be, like, in the sheet that we're reading. But, like, from a genuine place, it is really great to see a younger generation get things better than what we had.
Oh my God, you're so boomer.
All right. Thanks for letting us ramble a little bit. We do still have quite a bit of technical fixes to do, and we've decided to let you all feel like you can get up and have a break and not worry that it is right on the horizon for the game to start again. So we're going to be stepping a little bit back, putting up a little "Be Right Back" sign, letting you all exit the room if you feel like you need to use the bathroom or something before the next match starts, and see if we can get these technical pauses fixed. Anything you want to tell the people?
No, enjoy the break. We'll be right back.
dog status, I'm a big dog vet. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette. Yeah. Ride around the city with a stick all black. Try with a stroke, but we ain't with all that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Made $1 million and I can't. tell him that I ain't so crack. Know your money long when your people can't afford that. I'm ballin', yeah. My mama told me that did my calling. I keep that stick, I don't do no brawling. Open out the doors and let them all in here. Yeah, they all in here. We big dog. We come out the pound, so we big dog. Heavy paddock on me, break my wrist off. I'm young out of rocket, about to lead dog. 3, 2, 1, I got big dog status, I'm a big dog, yeah. I pull up on the block, yeah, the big Corvette, yeah. Ride around the city with a stick all black. Try with a spoken weed with all that, yeah. Big dog status, I'm a big dog, yeah. I pull up on the block, yeah, the big Corvette, yeah. Ride around the city with a stick all black. Try with a spoken weed with all that, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Fall in line, yeah. We got sticks like it's Columbine, yeah. Running up the dollar signs, yeah. Ain't no hiding from them hollow kinds, yeah. Bring up like the Taliban, that's my paper, don't you bottom mine, yeah. Heavy paddock on me, break my wrist off, yeah. Lift off, I got big dog status, I'm a big dog, yeah. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette, yeah. Ride around the city with a stick all black. Try with a spoken weed with all that, yeah. Big dog status, I'm a big dog, yeah. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette, yeah. Ride around the city with a stick all black. Try with a spoken weed with all that, yeah.
into your blue, into your blue. Yeah, I keep sinking into your blue, into your blue. Stars, I keep seeing stars inside your eyes. In my mind, I'm holding on to all the sparks, fly into the dark while we collide. Tell me that I'm all you ever wanted. Take me to a crowded place, and on the wall I see is the way that you breathe. Hit me like a hurricane, and I know all I need is your love next to me. Oh, I keep sinking into your blue, into your blue. Yeah, I keep sinking into your blue, into your blue, right into you. Underwater, I'm under, but I'm high. I can't let go of the way you love me better. Thought I could never touch the sky, but you got me holding heaven. Take me to a crowded place, and I know all I see is the way that you breathe. Hit me like a hurricane, and I know all I need is your love next to me. Oh, I keep sinking into your blue, into your blue. Yeah, I keep sinking into your blue, into your blue,
My mama told me that do my calling. I keep that stick, I don't do no brawling. Open up the doors and let them all in. Yeah, they all in. Yeah, big dog. We come out the pound, so we big dog. Heavy patty got me break my wrist off. I'm young out of rocket, about to lead dog. 3, 2, 1, I got big dog status, I'm a big dog, bitch. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette, yeah. Riding around the city with a stick all black. Try with a broken weed with all that, yeah. Big dog status, I'm a big dog, bitch. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette, yeah. Riding around the city with a stick all black. Try with a broken weed with all that, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Fall in line. Yeah. We got sticks like it's Columbine. Yeah. Running up the dollar signs. Yeah. Ain't no hiding from them hollow cans. Yeah. Bring up like the Taliban. That's my paper, don't you bother mine. Yeah. Heavy patty on me, break my wrist off. Yeah. Lift off. I got big dog status, I'm a big dog, bitch. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette, yeah. Riding around the city with a stick all black. Try with a broken weed with all that, yeah. Big dog status, I'm a big dog, bitch. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette, yeah. Riding around the city with a stick all black. Try with a broken weed with all that, yeah. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, destined by the motion, loving this devotion. Live it up, sweet emotion. Every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up, switch it up, switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me
Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat. Testify the potion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar, just my kind of heat. Ooh, that sugar, sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Ooh, that sugar.
Hello. So, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news. The tech issues are beyond repair. We deeply apologize for this. We were in the back, we talked to the judges, we talked to district leadership. What we decided to do is we're going to stop tonight. We're going to move this to an online platform in a later date. You'll all get the stream. Maybe there'll be a stream party at the schools. Again, we apologize. There's nothing we can do. We can try to continue to get fixed. It's already 8:45. We don't want to keep you here. But thank you for coming out. We really appreciate it. You certainly brought the energy in this room. It was incredible. We have some other districts visiting. They were so impressed with Downey Unified. So, as I always sign off the evening, thank you for coming. We'll give you more information about the stream. Happy holidays. Drive safely. Have a good night.
then it